Going coastal to me is going to be more family-based. Josh and I have been raised here. This is something that we have always wanted to do. We've got a tackle shop, we have charter boats, we live, eat, and breathe going coastal. And this TV show is the best way to showcase what we know and love about the area.
The game plan today, with it being the weekend, was to start off fishing in the bay. And once it got busy, we're gonna move out into the Gulf. The nice thing about our area in the summertime is there's such a variety of species and options. You can go in the Gulf and fish for snappers, groupers, king mackerels, or stay in the bay and we can fish for redfish, speckled trout, mangrove snappers, and Spanish mackerel.
All right, babe, what are we going after today?
We're gonna go back here in the bayous first, try to catch some baits, and then probably try to catch some redfish first before it gets busy, and then maybe if we have time, go after some red snappers.
Like a big one?
Maybe this big, maybe that big.
No, big one.
All right.
And a big redfish too. I'm not picky, I swear.
All right, we'll see what we can do.
Going into this day, I was so excited. We've had this on our books for a while, and filming had no expectations, no realizations of what we were actually going to get into, but I'm excited to see what we get to catch today. Josh has been fishing the Destin area for 20 years. We actually met in high school, and some of our first dates were fishing because he had a boat and we really didn't have any more money. So it was a lot of fun to be able to experience that as a first-time person fishing saltwater. I grew up bass fishing with my grandpa, but didn't really get to experience much saltwater fishing until we met. And we've been doing that now for 15 years together, and thankfully have been able to instill that drive and that fun in our daughters now.
See where the sand pocket is?
Yeah.
We're gonna throw it about 10, 15 feet past it.
Like where those baits were popping over there?
Yeah, and then the sinker's gonna sit in the grass, but we want that bait. These menhaden and swim up, so it's gonna act as an anchor. So
okay.
Let me grab you a bait. But you don't have to throw too far. Just
I want the best one.
Just about 15 feet. I just saw a couple come up to the surface.
Is it redfish or trout?
Redfish. There's a good one up there, about 34, 36 inches. So you see this big white sand pocket?
Yeah.
And then about 20 feet, there's like a small one. In between those two. About
super light.
Past.
Okay, yeah.
It's just a small sand pocket.
So not far.
Yep.
Okay.
That'll work.
Did that bait come off?
No, just reel it tight so you can clear it. When targeting a redfish, we like to fish structure of some sort, whether it's grass flats, bridge pilings, or docks in the bay that are holding bait fish. Here lately, the grass flats have been holding some good bait, so today we're going to target the redfish on the flats before it gets busy.
How big do you think it?
It hasn't woke up yet. It's kind of just swimming towards us. It's hard to tell. It's staying down deep like a redfish though.
Well, if it was a bluefish, it would have already popped off, right?
Or have to get around this buoy.
Bitten through the line?
Yeah, most of the time. But sometimes we'll hook them just right and get around this buoy. Looks like a pretty good fish for the first one today.
Not a bad way to start the morning.
Let me slide right underneath you. He's coming all the way to the back of the boat. Oh!
No!
Came off. While fishing the grass flats in Destin during the summertime, there's so much bait that are being held on the grass that there's a variety of fish, whether it's redfish, speckled trout, Spanish mackerel, or bluefish. One of the unfortunate events that happens sometimes while fishing the grass flats is your bait will slide up your leader. Once you hook a good fish, and the entire time you're fighting that fish, your bait's just slinging around. Even though it's dead, it has action from that fish head shakes, and sometimes they'll get ate by a bluefish or a Spanish mackerel. Once I got the redfish closer to the boat, I noticed my bait slid mid-leader. With all the bluefish in the area, I knew there was a chance that that bait might get struck by a bluefish.
Oh, jeez.
Fish on.
Oh, yeah, fish on.
Just try not to pull too hard whenever it's running.
Okay.
It might turn and run towards us, so it feels like it came off just real fast.
Okay. Head shake.
At least you don't have to worry about bluefish coming up. Your bait's
Not yet,
gone.
don't jinx me. Shh.
Your bait's gone on that one. The one I hooked, that bait slid up the leader.
Hey, you ready? Ooh, this
over
one looks
this
like
side.
he's got a, yep, back and back.
All right.
Yeah. No, my arm's too hard to hold him. Just kidding.
How big do you think he is?
Not flat. I know that much.
Play the guessing game. How long do you think?
What do you, I have no idea.
I say 31 inches.
No, you think it, I was thinking bigger.
Take a guess.
35.
Think I've done this
See, that's
before.
not fair. 31 on the dot.
31 and a half. We're close.
Fair.
Pretty one.
It is. I like its tail. That blue. Josh, hands down, is a better fisherman than me. I think it's because he has more time on the water than I do. But I'm always competitive when I can to try and catch a bigger fish than him. That was a good fish.
Nice one.
Thanks.
Once the boat traffic picked up, I knew we weren't going to be able to fish the bay effectively anymore. So we picked our gear up and headed out to the Gulf. Just like bay fishing, the live bait is a key factor when going snapper fishing. On the way out, we stopped by the buoys to try to catch some more bait using sabiki rigs. Started getting busy in there. So
Yeah, I did.
we're gonna come out here in the Gulf, hit some near shore wrecks, see if we can get some snappers now that it's busy up there. Just gotta get the right bait, so.
What bait are we having? We're trying to grab.
Trying to catch some herrings. There's a bunch of different kinds of baits out here. Cigar minnows, herrings, thread fins. But snappers like the cigar minnows and the herrings a lot better than these thread fins.
It's a giant bait.
They'll eat them. They're just a little bit bigger for the snappers.
Look, you're already catching more fish than I am.
Make a couple drops here, see if we can get a couple more baits. We'll make a little run, see if we can get you on some snappers.
I'll use a smaller bait though.
Don't be scared.
Josh had mentioned during our trip that we wanted to go and do a hook and cook at the local restaurant, The Edge. So we kind of switched gears a little bit because we're in that 2-week period where there's not a lot of fish that we can catch and keep in the Gulf.
There's a couple black snappers chummed up, some mangrove snappers. Drift that bait down to see if we can get him to bite. You feel it start taking off. Just want to click that over.
Will this one click over if I start reeling?
No,
Okay.
you'll have to manually click it over. These mangroves have really, really good eyesight.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna see if I can get them to come up and get in a little feeding frenzy.
Is that a mangrove or a red snapper right there?
There's a couple red snappers and a couple mangroves. With red snappers being out of season, we went out with the mindset of targeting mangrove snappers. They're a lot trickier to catch than the red snappers, so we typically downsize our hooks and leaders to have a better chance of catching these mangroves.
Oh, he's taking it.
Good, start reeling. You caught the wrong one.
So you said I caught the wrong one, which means this is a red snapper?
Yeah.
You want me to bring them all the way up?
Yep, pull it right there. I got the mangrove. Might not be eating spaghetti after all if I can get this one in. Can you hand me that net over there for both of them? Here you go, I got you. Oh, dang. It's a red snapper too, Anna. It's super dark coloring though.
Spaghetti's still on the menu.
Still on the menu. I was definitely convinced that was a mangrove with how dark he is. See the color difference?
That's nuts.
When that one ate, I thought it was a mangrove snapper with how dark it is, but
It's still, I mean, it's still super dark compared to what it looked like in the water.
not bad for just our first couple drops down. I was getting too busy in there for red fishing, so had to resort to come out here, pull on some of these. They're out of season, but they're fun to catch.
When you're targeting mangrove snappers out in the Gulf, it can get really difficult because the red snapper are so thick in some spots that you just can't get it down to those mangrove snappers.
Hold on tight, reel, turn that handle. Got them all. I have to find some bigger ones for you.
These are good.
You're not pulling any drag, you're whooping them. Might have to pick up and go to another spot, see if we can get the big ones to come up. A couple more weeks, these would all be keepers. We definitely wouldn't be eating spaghetti.
They're still pretty. Fun to catch. Destin's area is so versatile. We could go a few miles out and go after red snapper, and if the weather doesn't work out, we can always go back into the bay and go after redfish, trout, mangrove snappers. In Destin, there's always a way to have a good time on the water.
You wanna hold that rod? I'm gonna feed this bait down to them.
Okay.
And see if we can get to these mangroves. The red snappers keep on coming up and taking the baits away from them, so we'll see if we can get one of these mangroves past the red snappers. They're staying pretty deep too, so just be ready.
I'm ready.
Start reeling. Reel.
Okay.
Reel. Keep reeling. Keep reeling. There
They're
you go.
gonna want it over there.
Here. Come around the motor. There you go. Little Almaco jack. There you go. It ain't that mangrove we're looking for, but that's dinner. Yeah. How about that?
That's like what, 2 tacos?
That's not spaghetti. Today's forecast was 5 to 10 miles an hour out of the north with 1 foot or less seas. The weatherman was right on the money when we were heading out. But a couple hours into our trip out in the Gulf, the winds picked up and the sea conditions got awful.
Fish on. Ooh, there it is.
Got them on.
Do you need me to grab the net?
Nah.
Okay.
Nice red snapper, Anna. Oh, going underneath the boat.
Ooh.
This wind's picked up, making this fight a little tougher. Pretty one though.
It is a pretty one. That's a good size one too.
American red snapper. There's a lot of fish here. There's about 20 or 30 of them that came up with this one. Another pretty snapper.
Mm-hmm.
The wind's
Bigger.
picking up out here. So we haven't caught any dinner, but we've caught some pretty snappers. The wind's picking up. You wanna go back in the bay and try to catch some dinner?
Yeah.
All right, we'll go back there and try to catch some mangrove snappers in the back bay. But pretty snapper for out here. It's a shame a couple more weeks we'd be able to keep them. We had the perfect conditions for fishing, slick calm, very little current, but it didn't take long for the winds to pick up to 20 to 25 mile an hour winds and 2 to 3 foot seas. And if you've ever been fishing in a bay boat in 20 to 25 mile an hour winds, it's not ideal. That wind's picked up big time, gusting.
It was getting bad out there.
There's plenty of mangroves at a couple of those spots. We just couldn't get them to bite before the red snappers, so the wind picked up and got pretty choppy out there, so we'll see if we can get some mangroves back here in the bay for dinner. Oh, this is something different.
What you think it is?
Oh, big old blue runner. Has a lot of head shakes. This could be a mangrove. Oh, it's a spadefish. Oh, what do you know? A triggerfish.
Look, we didn't even need to go out in the Gulf.
Can't get away from the Gulf species.
Little too short, right?
A couple days ago, he might have been a keeper. He smacked it.
Such cool fish. A little. Isn't it if you hit that part?
Yeah,
it does
that's that trigger right there.
If it, oh yeah.
That's a spine that won't go down until you hit the trigger.
Is that why they're called triggerfish?
That's right. Yeah, he said it'd be good dinner fare, but they're out of season like almost the entire Gulf right now.
Yeah.
You got red snappers, the triggerfish are out of season, amberjacks, gag groupers. That's the only two main species that we're targeting right now are mangrove snappers and mingo snappers. But today we couldn't get through them before the wind picked up, so. And we still can't get away from the Gulf species back in the bay.
Basically, we're in that 2-week window where it's just catch and release.
So we're gonna let this one go. Our game plan today was to try to catch some mangrove snappers to bring back and have a hook and cook at the edge. Although we were having a blast catching red snappers and there's plenty of them, our goal was to bring back mangrove snappers to the edge. So we headed back to the bay to see what we can make happen. Got them on. This feels like the right one.
I'm gonna go around.
All right. No spaghetti for me.
Oh.
Couple fish tacos.
Oh, super slimy.
It's one of my favorite times of the year to fish for these things. The bridge holds them real well. There's a lot of bait fish that stack up around the pilings, and these fish with the warmer water will stack up around the pilings. One of my favorite to eat, so it's one of my favorite to catch also.
Mine too. It's honestly one of my favorite places to go to because we can bring the kids here if the Gulf is too rough, and it's a quick ride from the marina, and then it's always fun to bring it home or bring it to a restaurant because it's something even our kids eat.
It's always a great backup plan, especially days like today. The weatherman was wrong. He's calling for 5 to 10 miles an hour, 1 foot or less, and he was way wrong. So we're back here trying to catch some dinner. Oh, that's a good one.
That is a good one.
These fish are not big by any means, but they're great catch on light tackle. They put up a great fight. And honestly, they're the best size for eating. They make perfect fillets, make a couple tacos on each side, but they're perfect size for cooking.
Grill, blacken, or fried for your taco, Josh?
Ooh, I like blackened.
We'll see what the edge has to say about that.
All right.
After a successful day of fishing, we got cleaned up and headed down to the harbor at our local restaurant, The Edge. This is one of our new favorite restaurants to go to down on the harbor. They have a great family option downstairs or an adult-only section upstairs with live music and a large bar.
How's it going, Captain?
Good, how you doing, Chris?
Good, bud. Good to see you, man. What you guys got today?
We caught some mangrove snappers while out fishing today.
Okay.
Do a little hook and cook with y'all.
Okay, cool. How you guys want to cook it up?
We can do some black and grilled?
Yeah, absolutely.
That sounds excellent. We got some whole fried snapper going on back there. If you guys want to check it out, let's go take a look at it.
That
Yeah,
sounds great.
Okay.
let's go.
So Elder's getting ready to get this thing ready to fry the whole yellowtail snapper. So he's put the crosshatch slices in there so the seasonings can get down inside the meat. He's flouring it up and getting ready to drop it in the baskets. And when it comes out, it's going to look delicious.
How long is the process from start to finish on prepping and cooking?
So the whole process takes about 7 minutes from crosshatching it to soaking it in the egg wash to doing the fry. And you know, total process about 7 minutes.
Be nice and crispy when it comes out.
Nice and crispy. That's how we like it. Yeah.
Looks phenomenal.
The Edge is a great restaurant to visit when you're in Destin. We really can't recommend it enough. Overall, it was a really successful day on the water. I got to fish with my husband, who's one of my favorite people to fish with. We got to target some of my favorite species to go after in the summer and really showcase everything that Destin has to offer.
So taking time out of our busy schedule today to take Anna fishing was a perfect way to start Goin Coastal. We started Emerald Coast Bait and Tackle about 4 years ago. We pride ourselves on having everything local anglers need to have a successful day out on the water. No matter if you're fishing inshore for redfish and trout, or out in the Gulf for red snappers, amberjacks, or offshore for blue marlins, we have all the gear needed for a successful day on the water.